guys, I'm Crypto Man Ren. Welcome to the Crypto Show, where we do exactly as we've been predicting. Fred, I'm off the Wi-Fi. Let's bring in the sniper. Hi, buddy. Hi, guys.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crypto Banter. As we can see, we're back in the studio, back in Cape Town, all back in action. The team is starting to come back. We're starting to get everything together. I think in general, the last month has been a crazy month, just with everything, with the markets, with life, with everything. It's just been a bit crazy. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Crypto Banter. Before we start off, what are we talking about on the show today, guys? I want to get a nice little understanding that we've been patient this whole week. We've been waiting patiently and we've been wanting to FOMO in, and we've been seeing the prices and the greenness and everything start to come in, and we can see now we are finally getting the pullback that we've wanted in the market. This is where we start to take advantage. Remember, we want to always be buying the red and selling the green, not the other way around. So just by a bit of patience, what it does for us, it structures us for risk management, structures us to know where to put a stop loss. And obviously the gains are a lot bigger to the upward side when we are making sure that we are buying these coins on for special. So welcome, guys. The first thing I would like you guys to do is to hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Follow myself on Twitter, Sheldon_Sniper. Sheldon_Sniper, Crypto Man Ran. Follow Ran on Twitter as well, guys. What this will do for you is give us notifications on when we're always going live, any key information on the market, any updates to the channel, anything that is happening. Guys, we are here every single day, and the main thing that we wanted to create was to make sure that you are not alone in the markets. When anything is big is happening, we are here. We are here to help you guys. We're here to build this with you and to give you a good community where you can feel safe, where you can learn with us, and where we can teach you guys how to fish and not just give you everything on the plate. It's about building the skill so that you have it for life and build. So by hitting that like, hitting that subscribe button, you'll get us every day. Plus, we have the Sniper School. What is the Sniper School, guys? This is the biggest school, not only crypto school, but school in the world. We have already started on our channel now where we are giving little bits of education with the Sniper's wisdom every single day. And the school is basically finished, guys. We are finishing up with the curriculum. We are getting done. We are ready to start launching it to the masses, to start getting it out to everyone. It is going to be absolutely free. All we need from you guys, just hit that like, hit that, share the love, build the community with us, and keep passing this on. This is all that we ask from you guys. We will dedicate ourselves every day. We will teach you every day, and we'll help you every single day in the market. What we want from you guys is to share the love. Let's change lives. We do this for you every day. We literally build and change this channel every day for you. Whatever, we read the comments, we read the sections, and whatever doesn't, we make sure that this is fully fitted for you, because me, myself, Ran, Fred, the whole team, we don't actually need to be doing this. We want to, and we love enjoying this. So we do appreciate all the love, all the support, all the messages, all the videos from you guys. It really, really means a lot. And what we also have for the last thing, guys, is we have the banter bags as well. I see we've already locked in a great section in for us. What we're doing is when we hit to 500,000 subscribers, guys, we'll be giving the banter bags away to the community, to you guys. The last ones were set at over $500,000. And we gave it to 10 people, and each of those basically got just over $50,000. And what we did as well, we put them in the Sniper School as well, so we can make sure that you use that money. It's not just yes, you've won some good money and you've made some good money. It's about keeping that money and building generational wealth for you, yourself, and your family. So guys, I think let's get into it. Let's get the charts up there. Freddie, guys, a big welcome. Freddie is back in the house. He's getting back in action. I'm here in the studio with him. It's really, really awesome to have him back. So share the love. He's been through a lot. And I think this family and this community has brought strength to all of us through all the bad times. So it's really, really awesome to have him back. So guys, the first thing that we want to be chatting on today is we are finally now starting to approach the buy zones. And we had a little push up last night. I saw the alts had a little jump out of nowhere when Bitcoin was sort of, it had a nice little drop. It had a small little push up, and in this little push up little section over here, the alts really started to push out strongly. And this is where we've gotten the key indication that dominance is now starting to collapse. Dominance now is starting to show us weakness. which means alt time, baby. It means the alts now starting to wake up. And we saw that yesterday, how nicely they were jumping. And if we actually compare a lot of the alt charts to the BTC pairs, they've been doing very well against Bitcoin. Even today, the fact that yesterday they well outperformed Bitcoin, and today, the alts are falling, but they're not too far away from Bitcoin. So we're definitely starting to see a good amount of strength in the alts. So what we do have today, guys, and I think the best way to start it off is we're going to go through Bitcoin quickly. We have a very, very special guest with us, a walk-off theory guest with us today. He's going to be showing us. Is he here yet, Freddie? Have we got him yet? So do I Mr. Burb, we got Burb in the house. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing really good. How's it going?
Good, good, good. But I must say, I've been following you on Twitter. I've been looking at you a few times, seeing you on the show, seeing all of this, and I love your analysis, but I love how, I think your charts, they may look very crazy to everyone and look very, very busy, but the way you have sort of worked things out, I love your work, but I thought it was so important today for you to maybe show your charts, show us what you're thinking on Bitcoin, and we can sort of have a little chat around it and see what analysis that I'm seeing. I'm starting to love giving a bit of different opinions to the people out there, as well as a few little tips for the guys as well that helps you through your trading journey. So I'm not sure if you would like to share your chart over there before I get into mine. And we can maybe go of what you're thinking right now, but it's been quite a crazy last month to 2 months in the crypto markets. And we know you were on, what is it, last week as well, calling the spring and calling that whole little jump out there. What are you thinking? But are we still thinking we're in that same sort of run? Are you still bullish? Are you, is Bitcoin going to hold these key levels, or at any point, what's your thoughts? But I'd love to know.
Yeah. Thanks for the kind words to start with. In general, and to give you kind of like a short, brief answer, the bullishness or bearishness comes mainly within the understanding of the time frame, right? So you can be bullish, on the next 5 minutes, or bearish on the next 5 hours, but let's say bullish on the next week and bearish on the next month, and so on and so forth, right? So it all comes with the proper scope. And well, analysis is one thing, but trading is the other thing, right? Technical analysis doesn't guarantee you any success in trading. It doesn't help. They're supposed to help you, just like there are any other forms of analysis, right? Like fundamentals, like on-chain sentiment, intermarket, and whatnot. So I, as a technical trader, I mainly rely on technical analysis, and I believe that the history is the greatest teacher, right? So I do look into the past to analyze what may happen based on the cyclicality, based on the behavioral finance, based on the repetitiveness, kind of like, repetition in the human's behavior, and kind of like try to guess. Well, this is always a guessing, what the future brings, right?
Well, I'm not sure if it's the same reason why I love it, but I love erasing emotion. Because I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes. And I think that's why us as TA analysts and why we love it is because we're actually stepping out, because I believe the emotion is the one that creates all these mistakes and creates all these FOMO and then these little problems. And that's why I actually fell in love with TA. What does the chart tell me? And whatever the chart tells me, it gives me some sort of understanding on what I should or not do.
Yeah, by all means, that is all true. Our emotions, as a matter of fact, always distort, the reality, right? Our emotions is what creates an opinion out of a fact, and this opinion is not always true, right? While the fact remains always true and one. So right now, here we are saying the daily chart for Bitcoin for the spot price and no derivatives. We can approach one and the same chart from so many different angles, be it from the depth theory perspective, from Elliott waves, from Gann's, geometrics, from the perspective of trading systems, which consist of, let's say, moving averages. Right here, for an example, we have MA200, right, which corresponds with 200 day average, right? 200-day average, which tells you right now that on average, based on the past 200 days, Bitcoin is currently below its 200-day average, which is exactly at around $44,000, 43.8, something like that. Okay, and well, what it tells me is that we are somehow deviated to the bottom, right? This is a logarithmic chart, so the higher it goes in price, the more squeezed the price action is going to look like. But what you can tell, just out of this straight, simple analysis, be it for the chart patterns, knowing that we are already below the 200-day MA, well, you had this sort of like a head and shoulders on top, right? With the left shoulder with the high area being the head, and the right shoulder, which also kind of like constitutes, and is a part of the larger head and shoulders, right? So you would have the left shoulder, and here this head and shoulders actually creates a wide, big head for the large head and shoulders, and out the shoulder, right? And this type of a high long-term pattern, if you will, is something that makes people, of course, bearish, because they read in the books that this is bearish. It may turn out bearish, right? But while talking about technical analysis, we only imply some possible scenarios, right? So let's say whatever I say today is, let's say, may not necessarily come to finalize, let's say if some military conflicts, just appear, and the global markets then go to risk off, right? Take the risk off the table, and then the entire market crashes. So it's not going to stop Bitcoin, from crashing just because I posted a bullish chart or something. So if I were to refer to the similarities, it kind of like reminds to me this part, I see some similarities making it a pattern. You had some distribution pattern there 2 years ago in June, July, okay, with the $14,000 peak. Now you had the descending triangle, you had the breakdown, you had the deviation similar to what we are seeing right now, if you will, which later pulled back towards the average, okay, to retest the breakdown. That is in fact something that I would locally expect. Okay, so whatever happens in here, at one point, well, if you can be sure of anything in the market, right? Well, knowing that there is always this not 100% certainty for that, that from the statistical point of view, the price action is a time series that tends to oscillate around the mean, around its average, right? So if you have a bunch of points, let's say, in whatever chart, okay, then you have some sort of like a mean, some trend line of that. Okay, so each and every single point is to some extent deviated, right? Which, if you get an average deviation of that, is what gives you the standard deviation. And based on that, you can tell about how deviated any point is, and you can tell that this data somehow oscillates around it, right, as it progresses over the time. So knowing that, again, at one point we are supposed to retest the mean, revert to the mean, right, which is called the mean reversion. So at one point, anytime soon, doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you if it's going to be tomorrow, in 5 days, in 3 months. But at one point, we are going to be retesting somewhere around $45,000, right? And that is what is going to be this large, hard time frame breakout retest to the downside, right? So this part is what we are seeing here, in my opinion, right? Once again, this part, after the breakdown of the support, okay, breakdown of the support, is, in my opinion, what we're seeing. And it's a matter of time until we revert back to the mean. So whatever happens in here, I know that Bitcoin is supposed to be, on average, based on its 200-day fair price, somewhere around $45,000, right? So that is the short, medium time frame kind of like perspective. In the long term, if you will, we've seen the peaks, we've seen the tops, which look some sort of different. Usually for Bitcoin, perhaps this is not going to show you that best, but we can actually just go ahead for the BLC, okay, which is or the BLX, Brave Liquid Coin. Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin, which actually, again, corresponds with and shows the entire history since the very first listing in July 2010. Okay, you had the fourth, the cycle that we are in right now is the fourth cycle. So from the macro perspective, this was 2011 run up towards like $31, then down to $1.98. Okay, this was the first cycle. Then we initiated the cycle number 2, okay, which brought us 1400s, okay, or 1250 if you will, exactly, okay, here. Then empty GOX, in February came in. We actually just declined towards like $100, $150. okay, or even $90 on MTGOX as far as I can recall. This ended the second cycle. This third cycle, okay, ended up with December 2017, 20K for Bitcoin. Okay, then another 80-90% decline, drawdown in the bear market. Okay, so you can tell that bear markets usually last at least a year on average for Bitcoin. Okay, it lasts a couple of months. They don't last like a month or two. So people calling bear market in here, in my opinion, based on the historical data, is simply mistaken. Okay, we are in the fourth bull market in this time, and we like even if you apply the Elliott waves kind of like principles, that you in a cycle, at least on the one side of the cycle, you should have, let's say, 5 waves up, right? And if it's a regular correction, then you could have ABC, like 3-wave correction or something like that, and then it proceeds, higher, right? That's what it comes for the emerging markets. So if you apply the very simple wave count, the bull market initiated with wave number 1, they overextended to the bottom with the COVID crash, kind of like correction wave number 2, then the third impulse wave, motive wave in the upside direction towards the bull, right? Orientation, this was the wave number 3. We are now looking at a corrective wave. So after wave number 3 is corrective wave number 4. So we're still somewhere missing this final leg up. And this, just very simple wave count analysis corresponds with also the pattern analysis. You can tell that all of the previous peaks, market climaxes, they came with a very volatile blow of tops, right? It's not a typical thing for Bitcoin, for volatile assets, that you would see some lazy consolidation on top, right? So all that combined with the average going up, 200-week average, tells me that we're still going up, right? So it is only a short-term deviations that may actually get misleading, but every professional analyst and market technician does not pay attention too much to short-term cuts, because they know that what matters is the long term, and long term is defined by the fundamental values.
Okay, so if you thought so for now, okay, we've had a lot of and I've seen it as well. We got a lot of support that are also sitting in the 20K regions and all of that. What would you say is a very, even if we do go down to those levels, are you still bullish in the bigger picture for that next leg up? Or are you thinking that the 30K is a very, that low that we made at 29,000, must we hold that? Is that a very key level for the remaining of the year for Bitcoin to still make it to, let's say, 70, 80K or somewhere in that region?
So the way I look at it, even if it actually just goes down to those levels, like 20,000, I still consider that a good buying opportunity, right? But knowing just simply that we are still missing this final wave leg up, so the lower it goes,
never tested that.
Yeah, the lower it goes, before this fifth final leg up, technically or in practice, the better for you, right? Because you get the cheaper thing. And I don't believe, something like that would actually happen alone from the technicals, right? Because market is already so oversold. Like if you look at it, only 3 times in the past 3 years, ever since the bull market started, for the third time, we are actually this oversold. So this bull market cycle, like people ask me, in the comments too often, like, okay, so what about that? Okay, so first of all, I'm referring to this bull market, which started with the 2018 December 15 reversal, okay, $3,100. So this is my focus, while that the bear markets tend to kind of like suppress the momentum, suppress the trend in its, below 50 kind of like points. 50 points for any momentum oscillator, as the main reference point is the kind of like this middle zone. So usually when it kind of like goes down, when it goes down and trades only there, it clearly is a bear market, right? What we had seen so far recently for Bitcoin is just being only in the bullish side, okay? And being only in the bullish side for a long time, just like you saw, for example, in here as well, ever since the market was already overbought, since 5K, right? We still had this massive run up for more than, like 100%. then this full reset that we are seeing here, that we are seeing here, that we are seeing here, okay, each and every single time, if you look at it, it brought massive pumps over some time, right? This one was actually like 16x rally. This was like 3-4x rally, okay? And it doesn't matter too much that, you know, here, as a matter of fact, from the macro perspective, this crash came in from the COVID, right? Because, well, this actually generated nothing but a good buying opportunity as the second wave again, right? So from the long-term perspective, the fact that after each and every single time we've revisited this this oversold market, this oversold sentiment, this extremely bearish sentiment, for the third time in this bull market, and each every single time before brought, you know, this high positive impact. Well, that is what me as a technician, you know, kind of like would apply to gauge on the future, right? So even if it gets something like this, even if it gets it, right? I don't believe it will be this simple, because it would need to be like a lot of FUD kicking in.
Yeah, we need some news, or we need something to create a little big amount of fear. I agree.
Exactly. If the market is already so oversold, it means that all the retails mainly, well, have already others sold, or they are too bullish, too salty, too bearish to enter right now, right? Because they would, I saw targets like $1,000 for Bitcoin, like 6,000, you know, callers.
That's crazy.
So
I believe that the retail is out of the market right now. There's not much left of them in, and I think that
exactly.
They are definitely, they're too scared. They're either too scared, or they're just tired of playing this up and down game, and they're just holding.
100%.
And I think that's it right now. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so you're saying, you know, it's still bigger picture, and I agree with you. I'm at that stage now where the market is really, really oversold. It's at that point. If something miraculously happens to the stock market, or there's big news or something like that, then I believe we can possibly get down to lower levels. But at this stage right now, you know, I also see that 45. The only question is, when we get to that 45, what are we thinking? You know what I mean? Then possibly after that, maybe the next leg down to that 20K, or what is your bullish segment? Let's say we get to 45, we break 45, we break 50, or anywhere in that sort of region. What's your, you know, because the reason why I'm saying this is because, firstly, people, for anyone to hear 20K, yes, it's cheap, but a lot of people are still in the market. And you know what I mean? And for them, when we get to that 45K, how would you approach it? How would you handle that situation when we start, you know, if we start getting to those levels, for guys that are in the market, free up some cash, you know what I mean? Free up a section for possible, because we know the 200 moving average is there. And we know how powerful these moving averages, how it just has effect. We saw that cross of death, how it created that reaction. And so I'd love to know your input, and especially now as well. You know, even if there's an opportunity for Bitcoin to go to 20K, but everyone's in the market now, you know what I mean? Do we tighten stop losses? I just would love to know, for two scenarios. Let's say our community is in the market right now. There's a possibility to go down to 20, and there's a possibility to go to 45 in the next. We're not saying timeframes, but how would you handle that approach?
Yeah, so, well, if you're a technical trader, then what again defines your trading is the proper risk to reward, of course, applied with the risk management, right? But risk to reward just tells you that, compares kind of like the extremes. You can tell that there is some range, right? You can tell that there are some extreme high for Bitcoin, which marked the all-time high so far, and the extreme low. That is what defines your trading range. So you can then analyze if you're closer and nearer to this bottom side, right, knowing that we are here, or to the upside side. And that is what actually just somehow positions yourself inside this trading range. So even if you look at it, you know, the risk reward favors longs than shorts, right? Because even if you are like, if you will, let's say, if there is some, you know, world collapse and then military conflicts expand, like some World War III, you know, expands, and some big aggression, like, I don't know, asteroid just crashes into Earth, right? You have so many different options. Then you are, as a matter of fact, if this is your trading range, then you can tell that you are somewhere in the middle, right? So if you are a long-term trader and you believe that you know, we are supposed to retest $20,000, then I would not personally short it. right? I would not personally short it. I would, in general, right now, as long as we are in this couple of month range, I mean, it actually, you know, it's soon going to be 2 months, right? Since we started the crash May 18th. Well, maybe exaggerate, but a couple, like month and a couple of weeks, you know, it's been testing our patience so far, right? It's been testing our patience. The sentiment has been extremely bearish. So pure from the trading point of view, purely again, we are almost equal size to the bottom and to the upside, right? So if you are betting shorts and you on the next couple of months, then this is not the best time to short because your risk to reward is kind of like
it's basically a 50-50. Yeah,
it's a
1-to-1.
50-50, and your kind of like technical, you know, trading should be always defined by good risk to reward approach, right? So you shouldn't, like the CMT Association states that you shouldn't be taking any trades that are lower than 3-to-1 risk to reward, right? That your chances of being right or wrong, you know, like if you have a bad chances, if you have, you know, bad luck in front of you, right, then if you take this trade, then it defines you as a gambler, because what defines gambler is that they don't pay attention to the risk or reward.
It's red or black.
It's red or black. They just want to be in the trade, right? Exactly. So if you are, you know, somewhere in the middle, then you should not be trading anything, as a matter of fact, because that's the worst time to make the decision from the higher time frame perspective.
And let's say we go to 45.
And if we go to the 45, then again, we have a couple of cluster of resistances. You can tell this tiny candle, right? This tiny candle right before this crash initiated with the black candle. This tiny hammer looking or hanging man spinning top, doesn't matter how we call that, but it defined the low at one point. Okay, you had the low that once broken, it actually brought massive downside candle. Okay, and that's where it all started. So it means that this technical level, this support, this very tiny last bullish bastion that was holding the market against the crash, that once broken, it actually resulted in a crash, then it means that it had to be of some special bullish territory that, again, got broken, right, and reclaimed by birds. So I would read that based on the polarity change principle that this bullish bastion, well, used to be bullish bastion, but as we know from the polarity change, that broken support turns into resistance. So for the same reason, I would expect this resistance to be actually of strong impact, right? So $52,000 is something reachable. On top of that, you have the similar story with this candle, right? Although I would bet more certain and more importance and significance to the upper one. But this creates for you some sort of like a layer of resistances. You have $47,000 resistance, which matches the average somehow. You have the $52,000 resistance. So you know that you would not want to long necessarily into this area, but there, if you like dreamed of being short, then that is going to be the best time to short, if ever. Okay. But I'm in general not a fan of shorting in the bull market because I believe that shorts should be left for the bear market.
No, I agree with you. It's just I know there's some people that bought at, let's say they bought at $55,000 to $60,000 region, right before. Remember, the retail only came in that little top section over there. That's when majority of retail were absolutely coming in those little, exactly those regions over there, and that's where a lot of people got caught. And for them now, you know what I mean? If they make their way to 45, 50, you know, they're minimizing their loss from a 50% to a 20% or anything like that. You know, because what I believe is I think we're going to make our way to, let's say, the $48,000 region. And to start to maybe free up, I'm not saying to short, but to free up a bit into cash. Because if we break through that, I believe we will test it again and then continue the way up to the upward side, which would give maybe a confirmation buy back in at that zone. But it's also, well, what I'm trying to say is a lot got caught in the top. And for that,
that's very right.
It's quite scary to see if they bought at 60,000 for the price to go to 20. Do you know what I mean? At any point of that. So I think it's lovely to just get the two different perspectives or the sort of understanding on what you would do in that situation. It just helps a lot. The thing is, we've got a huge community and everyone's entered at different levels. So it's just, it all comes down to different thoughts of where we are. And yeah.
Yeah, if you bought the top, then, you know, what can I say? You're the only one to blame, right? Yourself. You can only blame yourself, because you actually, like, when the euphoria climaxes, that is where you buy the top, right? Where the bearishness climaxes, like, that is where you sell the bottom, right? Most usually. So for people, like, knowing that Bitcoin is an emerging market, people who bought $20,000, they had to wait 3 years to actually break even. But they did break even, and they actually, like, got 100% returns on that, or more. Right. So what I am saying is, even if you bought at the 60 top, then knowing that we're still missing this final leg up, in my opinion, well, if you refuse to sell, or if you don't care simply, then perhaps for you might be the way to actually hold it. Okay. But I'm not a big fan of holding depreciating assets, let's say, even in some corrective way, strong corrective movements. So if you're asking me whether or not I would free up some cash in here, I would, for sure.
Maybe
And
the
that's what I'm
50-50
actually going
rule.
to do.
Because if you're in the between, maybe the 50-50, where you're still 50% in the market and you're 50% in cash.
That is the simplest way.
Awesome. Brilliant, buddy. Brilliant. I just wanted to see, and your little before, I'm not sure how time is. We can maybe do 5 more minutes. Are you cool with 5 more minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, perfect. What are your little rules to your trading? Can you give us 2-3 rules on your trading? Just 2-3 key rules. What we're trying to do is we're trying to fill up a good information or education batch for the guys, a structure. So when the bull run comes again, they have a whole damn portfolio and CV. Because what no one realizes is when the markets are, I wouldn't say terrible, but they're slow at what they're doing now. This is the study time. It's the time where you recap, you rebuild, and when it's bull time, it's working time again. So this is knowledge building time, and the bull time is making money time. So I'd love to know your little input on 3 little rules or little rules that help you with trading.
100%. I do believe that to be able to be profitable, you need to find your place in all this madness, in all this chaos, right? So understanding, like, number 1 rule is that you should keep thriving in the knowledge. You should keep improving your knowledge. You should have it as your golden rule, right? I personally, I'm certified technician, right? I'm on my way to get the full designation, official designation from the CMT, from the Charter Market Technician designation. Going to have my final exam, kind of like to wrap it all up from the technical point of view in December, right? But I keep reading the books. Like, some people literally, they when I go, I don't know, famous on TikTok or Twitter or YouTube, they just kind of like just lay down, just relax, just do nothing about the growth, do nothing about the improvements. I'm actually not that guy. I'm here to tell you guys and to give you like the biggest tip, that as long as you keep working, as long as you keep improving, that even if you lost this money, this is actually a golden tip, that even if you lost money here, right, then if you do nothing about it, then the result is kind of like negative, right? But even if you lost, but you learned how to improve in future, you gain the knowledge on how you can build, this new kind of like wealth, rebuild it, and actually go even beyond, then the result is actually either neutral, so all the negativity is taken up, or is actually positive for you, right? So even if you lose, it doesn't necessarily define you as a loser, right? Even because if you lose and if you keep thriving, if you keep,
as long as you learn something as well, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
As long as then it's not a loss. You just paid for your thing. That's what I love about trades. You paid for that mistake. Now make sure you've jotted it down. Make sure you've learned it, and we go again. You know what's quite scary, Bob, is people don't actually understand how quick you can actually recover by a little bit of dedication.
Yeah,
I think for them, it thinks it's lost now, it's gone. I think it's still the gambling mentality, because you go to the casino, you lose, and that's the thing. Where with this, even though you've lost, a bit of dedication, a bit of building at a time, you'll be very surprised how quick you can actually build yourself back up.
Yeah, that's very right. I agree completely. Yeah, so kind of like, again, to wrap up for the number 1 rule, okay, is you should keep improving, you should keep learning, right? Anything trading related, I'm not saying, go and follow influencers on Twitter, right? I'm saying go and open up books from credible sources, right? That is how we can improve it, start improving. Then number 2 rule is that you can trade with the money that you should be able to afford to lose. Okay, so I've heard and I've read too many stories, that people risk their family's money, right? Their family's trust monies. They borrowed, they took out a couple of loans to actually pay one after another, but they all lost because because of trading leverage, right? So number 1-2 rule is so that you trade only with the money that you can afford to lose, right? So you don't take your family's vacation money to go and trade it, right? That is gambling. You don't steal your father's pocket money and put it onto your exchange and trade it.
I think everyone's got when they come in, we're going to make money fast and quickly. I think that's the normal mindset. I think they take unnecessary. No, brilliant.
Yeah, and that is very right, and that is why people apply leverage, right? So, and the number 3 rule, if I were to actually give it to you, is finding your own trading system. And by trading system, I mean the markets that you trade. Okay, the entries, what defines your entries, your exits, your stop losses, your risk management, your take profit points, your tactics or techniques, if you will, right? If you trade based on the moving averages, or if you trade based on the, here's actually my own personal trading system, which is BYBIT or Pro. It's called B Pro. So I trade based off that, right? But you can trade based off Bollinger Bands, based on, the moving averages, crossovers, 1 moving average, 2 moving averages, 3 moving averages, based on momentum, RSI, divergences. You can trade based on, I don't know, coin flipping, right? Although the chances are going to be 50-50. But you have to find your trading system. And this trading system is going to give you the discipline, right? So whatever signal you get from the market, you apply that with the proper risk management, right? And that is what is going to define your profitability in your long term, right? So this by default should also come with understanding that no high leverage is suggested, right? Unless you are an experienced trader, unless you know what you're doing, unless you know risk management well, okay? Otherwise, it's going to end too badly for you.
I think your skill levels have to be very high for that. Even the pros will get caught once in a while. So it's that's definitely like I've done it lots in the past as well. But that's my gambling money. So have a little bit of fun. Make sure I get out. Make sure I get in. But we don't advise it for And until you have really, really good, there's no purpose of it. You got to master one at a time. You know what I mean? I think people try to jump to, you got to master, get normal trading, learn how to make normal money first and learn how to make these things first. And then you can look at the next step in the thing. But I think that people love shortcuts. And I know it sucks, guys. I know it sucks to hear that you're not going to make tons of money in the next three months or in the next thing. But in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you can change things forever. And I think that's the main goal that people just got to understand. It's not as easy as what you thought. It's not just the simple overnight thing. But thank you very much, buddy. I see they have put your description there. Where can the guys follow you? On Twitter? We'll make sure we got everything in the description. On Twitter, YouTube. You got a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, we got a YouTube channel. I actually got a Twitter, which is kind of like decent. Our YouTube channel is actually called the Verb Nest, right? So if you will, we actually also started a brand new video series where we upload daily trading daily uploads, right? So we have recently got a lot of these materials that last 7-10 minutes for everybody who just wants to improve their trading in a very short period of time. It's free. We have that website which gives you free access to the Verb Nest as well, to the exclusive corners. You can get sign up free for 7 days, no credit cards required. And on top of that, there's insane amount of free resources, newsletters, infographics, which are said to be one of the fanciest on the stock, like daily webinars every single day, the podcasts, like the blog where I post my free Bitcoin reports. Okay, this is like all my thoughts are in there. This is a lot of free content. So
brilliant, buddy. Brilliant. Awesome. Okay, thank you, Burb. I appreciate it. I'd love to have you again soon. Thank you, buddy, for all your intake. I really, really appreciate it.
By all means, all the best to you, buddy. Stay safe.
Have a great buddy. Cheers. Awesome, guys. So you see, end of the day, what is this about? Let's get everyone's vision out there. Let's get everyone's rules. You hear mine every day. You hear my education every day and all my structures. Let's get everyone's and create yours. Take little bit, define what trader you want to be and want to build. So guys, the first thing, so what we still have today is I'm going to go through now. We have hit buy zones on a few of the alts, not all of them just yet, But there's a few buy zones that we need to be getting in now. We need to start getting that spot wallet going. We need to get the trades going. But we need something as well first. Guys, every day I'm bringing new people and I'm building this new thing. And I want to have a look here. We are only sitting on 3,500 likes. Guys, for every 1,000 likes that I get now, I will give you guys more trades. Right now, I'll only give three trades. Hit that like, hit that like, hit that like, because you can see how we're starting to rebuild this. So hit that like. The more likes we get, the more trades that I will give. And the more, remember, we do this for free every day. So guys, first one that we're going to chat about now. We got the bigger pictures and we got a different view now of what can happen with Bitcoin. But remember the simplicity now. We got another view. And now we also make it simple that we still have a great support in trend. Where are we right now with Bitcoin? So Bitcoin, we were talking between 34,500 and 35,500. It's gone a little bit lower. And what I have done now is, so we've hit that range. We're currently sitting in that range right now. And all that I saw now was we've just come down to test a little bit lower in the zone. So all that I've done now is I've brought my entry $500 a little bit down in the zone. Guys, this is where I'm stocking up on Bitcoin right now. This is the long that we have been waiting for 3 days in the zone. Now, remember yesterday what we were saying, that the alts were just not there just yet. So Bitcoin was pulling back, but the alts weren't there, which gave me the indication that we still have another push to the downward side. And the stop loss is still in the same region. So what I've set up for you guys is we are in buy zone for Bitcoin now. For the spot trade, for the shorter term, let's make some money, and then we can diversify into our portfolios, right? So now we're in a buy zone for Bitcoin, and the stop loss 32,300. Simple. It's sitting under my support trend line. It's under the previous low. We don't want weakness. We make any lower low, it's weakness again. So now, and what I do like about it is we are sitting, so if I have a look percentage-wise, even from where we are now, guys, we're at a 3% risk. This is how we want to trade. Do you see how patience is the biggest game that we need to learn? Because now, if you entered anywhere there, where were you going to put your stop losses? You were going to put it all the way down. You were going to risk 10, 15% of your money. Now it's a 3% risk. This is what I talk trading now. This is what you want to learn as a trader. This is when you buy trades. When you have a strategized stop loss, you know your risk is minimal and your risk to reward ratio is worth it. Because right now, we talk, Bird was giving the targets a little bit higher. But we got 3 TP zones here that we're running between 37 to 38, 40,000, 43,000, and we got Burbs one, which is sitting around 45,000. So risk to reward ratio from where we are now is we're risking 3%. The first TP, 13% profits. Second, 17, 18% profit. Third, 27%. And fifth, 33%. So you're risking 3% of your capital for a possible 33% or 20%. Anyway, it's up to you on where you want to take it. Are you happy with 20%? Before you buy Bitcoin right now and anyone takes a short-term trade, do me a favor. Put your stop loss in play, okay? Secondly, tell yourself before you even bought that coin where you're taking profits. And make sure you take profits when you get there. Are you happy with 15%? Are you happy? Remember, this is the shorter, this is the smaller portfolio. This isn't your love me coins. You're then going to take those profits and you're going to go buy longer-term coins, free up some cash. Remember, the main thing is, where are you taking profits? So Bitcoin, buy zone now, 4-hour RSI at the bottom. We can see we're getting strong right there at the bottom. We are testing support. We are looking beautiful now from this zone to have now the next leg up to the upward side. And then we will decide when we get there. Bigger picture. Should we free up a little bit? We will see. The main thing is, let's make some money. We've been waiting for this. This is the day that you want to be buying. Not when everything is saying 10% green. This is what you want to be buying. These big pullbacks. And we've had 2 days of red now. Brilliant. Now let's get in. So all we needed was that 4-hour RSI. There was a quick question, and I'm going to go through it very, very fast with you guys. How does this RSI work? Because I jump to the 1 hour, it tells me one thing. I go to the 4 hour, it tells me another thing. And I go to another time, it tells me, remember your time frames, guys. Your 15 minutes and your 1 hour is going to give you the information that you need for the next 5 hours or the next 8 hours. It's going to give you the information for the day. So when you are buying your 1 hour RSI at the bottom, you're choosing to trade for the next 4 hours, 5 hours. But then you can jump to your 4 hour, and your 4 hours showing you that you're still coming down. All that it means, guys, remember your 4 hour and your 8 hours giving you values for the next 2-3 days. That's what it's giving you data for, which means that if you're trading on the 4 and the 8 hour RSI, when you buy, then it means you can be holding this trade for 2 to 3 days. You get the right, that's how long you can hold. And that's where you should be looking to taking your profits when your RSI, because that's how long it takes to get to the top. Now, and what I mean by that, guys, if you trade the 1 hour and it's at the bottom and it makes its way up, but your 4 hour is coming down, that just means bigger picture, the next 3 days, we're still coming down because the 4 hour is showing us there's downside. But in between that, the 5 hours we're looking at now can go up. And then, but the bigger picture, so it means that for the day, or let's say the next 5 hours, we can be bullish. But for the next 3 days, we're still bearish. Because remember, nothing goes in a straight line. There's always little waves that happen in between. So if you're a short-term trader, you're trading at the 1 hour, you trade that 1 hour at the bottom and you get out at the top. So just remember to categorize that if your stochastic RSIs are showing you different things, just remember how the time frames work and the different periods of where you're trading. So guys, to go through this quickly now, dominance, there's our weakness. Altcoins, baby. Altcoins. How are we looking on likes? Let's have a look. We need to get serious with these likes, guys. We need, okay, 4,000, it's better. So that means I can give you guys 3 trades so long. Okay. So first one, Ethereum is looking bullish. Since that dominance has dropped down, my Ethereum now, my entries have lifted up a bit now. They are not as, we wanted the 2050 mark. We've gotten to the 2093. Guys, with that dominance falling, Ethereum is looking strong. It's looking really good, which means we're not looking to get to the possibilities of down to the 1,900 levels or anywhere there. So where I want to catch now, Ethereum is in buy zone now, okay? And there is a little bit more downside that can happen to the 2,040 to basically the 2,100 is where I want to catch it. So anywhere now in the zone is good, and I want to be putting my stop loss at 1,970. Okay, so now we can see Ethereum, it's time to get in, it's time to start buying up. We've been patient and we got the higher high yesterday. Ethereum's looking damn bullish. It's looking really, really good. So Ethereum is a big one we want to get in today. Put your stop loss in as soon as you entered. I'm going to give you 2 TP zones now. The first one I see is $2,600. Okay, which means that from where we are now, 25%. Then I got a second one, which is possibly $3,000 mark. When you enter and you buy Ethereum right now, you're putting your stop loss, you're risking 5% of your capital, right? When are you taking profits? Are you happy with 20%? Set it in your head first, and when it gets there, make sure you take your profits. So Ethereum in buy zone, looking really good. Link just touched, guys. How long we've been waiting for Link, and that patiently. And you know, we had a nice jump from Link. Look there, guys. Link has just hit in our zone. Perfect. We're starting to get a pin drop candle on the 4 hour. 4 hour RSI at the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. So now we're literally at the top. So what I would do now with Link is I still think that we're going to hover for the next hour or so in this range, and we can come test the little lows that we've just made. So I would, now it's on the top of the buy zone, right? So I would start laddering in now, knowing that we can come a little bit more lower. But end of the day, the max that I still see it coming lower is another 2 to 3%. That's my range now that I know that if I buy now, 2 to 3% is where we can come a little bit lower. But that's why I'll start laddering in at the zone now. And if we come a bit, I'll ladder in more. But anywhere now, guys, between, just get rid of that, between 17.3, 17.8, I'm stocking up. I'm patient because remember the high we made previously now. Let's measure that. We've caught at 13. Do you see why FOMO and why you don't buy the green? Because now you've just bought 13% more Link. Now Link, I want to set my stop loss at 16.7. Okay. And my TPs, I'm looking between $22 to $24. Buy Link, put your stop loss in, tell yourself where you're taking profits and stick to those rules. Let's look at another one that's there now. I don't want to lose it. BNB, guys. We've been waiting for BNB to get perfect into the zone. This is a beautiful chart. This is where you want to be buying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. You always want to buy supports because you know where to put stop loss. So BNB now, anywhere 278, between the 287, we are in buy zone right now. Stop loss 275. Where I see BNB going on the next one is between 270 to the $400 region is where I see BNB going. So percentage-wise, is looking good. 30, 35%. Buy BNB, put your stop loss, and tell yourself where you're taking profits. 4 hour RSI is at the bottom. Come on, guys. Let's see if we can get to this 5,000 likes so that I Let's have a look, have a look, have a look. We're not there yet, guys. We're not there yet. Do we want trades? Do we want trades? That's all I need to know. Show some love so I can give us some more trades. I'm going to go through these ones quickly for you guys. This one is on absolute special. Exactly, there was my drawing. It's playing out exactly as we wanted it to. And this one is coming down to beautiful risk now. Low risk, 3 to 4%. Theta's mainnet has launched, guys. So this is good fundamentals behind it now. Now we are catching it literally beautifully at the bottom. So we're still catching this one close to the bottom of the bar zone, which is good. So now anywhere between 6.1 to 6.4, I would say, because we're below that now, bar zone for Theta, stop loss at $6. Under the previous low, very simple. And the next push, guys, if all goes well fundamentally, I believe the TP is going to be a lot higher. But my first TP now is between 8.7 to the $9 region. So that's a good 40, 50%. So that's really, really good. Risking 3% for a possible, like I say, buy it, stop loss, know where to take your profits. So Theta's looking good. VET hit the top of our bar zone. So, go through them now. We traders now, right? We're starting to learn. So remember now that we don't fall in love with these coins. So now I go through my list and I see, okay, so this is VET and that's Theta. Look where Theta's sitting compared to VET. What looks like the better trade? The one that's sitting beautifully in the bar zone, the one that's sitting lower, minimal risk, and the one that, so when we're looking at, yes, there's possible different bar zones for a lot of the coins. Which one's looking the best? Remember, it's about winning. At the end of the day, that's the ones we want to capitalize on. So the next one that I want to chat about quickly is Kusama, guys. Kusama is also looking really, really good. Kusama, it's a little bit of higher bar zone now because we broke that trend. Look how beautiful. We break out, we test, now we continue to the upward side. So 186 to the 196 bar zone, stop loss 181, and I'm looking at a $320 take profit point. So put that in there as well. Guys, I see the time's running late. I have another 2-3 trades, but I'm going to give them tomorrow. We did not get enough likes today, so let's see how we get it on tomorrow. So I think, Freddie, my man, let's close off here, guys. All the ones are there. We've gone through a lot. Ethereum, Link, Kusama, BNB, Theta, VET, and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the perfect one that's sitting in the zone there as well, guys. Buy your trades, put your stop loss. Where are you taking profits? Once you have done that, let's go over here. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? That's exactly what we do. It's time for us to start doing what we say. It's time for us to start using what we have learned. Time to start making money now, guys. So for myself, hit that like one more time, hit that subscribe button. There's more trades coming tomorrow, more guests coming tomorrow. We have Mama Sniper. Remember Mama Sniper, my Mama Bear. She's going to be joining us, showing us some awesome of those small cap alts, and we'll get into it. So from my side, guys, have a fantastic day. Trade safe out there, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.